My story, my testimony is one of God's grace and healing. Really, I was born severely crippled with a rare disease called the exstrophy of the bladder, which simply meant that from the waist down, my body did not develop and knit together. So for the first few years of my life, my organs were on the outside of my body. They were able to break my hips when I was 5 years old and turn them around and then to bring some knitting to the body. But that didn't stop the series of infections that were taking place. And so I ended up having to have a colostomy. And the colostomy enabled me to live into my teenage years, and growing up with a colostomy was a real challenge, especially if you're going to a country public school and people don't understand and you really don't understand, and your parents are just trusting God from one day to the next day. When I was 13, I was fortunate enough to be introduced into the Emory Healthcare Center, and there they performed a surgery on me that reversed the colostomy and gave me a better chance of living. At 16 years old, I really believed that God had called me to preach the gospel. I didn't know what that meant. I just knew that there was this sense that God was calling me to preach the gospel. I shared that with my pastor. He encouraged me, but we shared that with another man that he respected, and he just didn't feel like physically that I was capable of being able to pastor or preach or hold the demands, and I ended up yielding to that call and going to Bible college to study for the ministry. And it was while I was there that I began dating the girl that I'd loved all my life, and asking her to marry me. It probably would be helpful to know for people who are processing or going through recovering and getting better, was I had been told by my doctors that I wouldn't live past 21 and that I should never even think about getting married. I shared with her everything that had been going on in my life. Of course, she knew, she was a childhood friend. And after we got married, with her parents' blessings and my parents' blessings, her parents told us something that they had never told us. Her dad was a pastor, and everywhere they had pastored, they had taped our names up under the altar because they believed, since we were children, that God had meant for us to be together. They never encouraged us to date or anything of that nature, but they kept our names under the altar of the churches they pastored. And after we were married, they showed us that and how they kept our... Isn't that cool to have that story in your life? Well, we began our ministry after college, and believe it or not, there's one more story like that. My folks, the night I was born, when the doctors told them I was going to die, that I wouldn't make it, they were praying, and they felt like the Holy Spirit had impressed upon them that I would live and I would grow up and preach the gospel. But they never told me that until after I began my ministry and after Becky and I were married. And so that just kind of affirmed us and encouraged us. And God has been so good to me. He's allowed me the opportunity to share in many different denominations in many countries. He's allowed me to share with medical students and to speak to the classes. He's also given me the opportunity to pray with people. And I wish I could tell you everybody I prayed for got healed. I don't understand why God doesn't heal everybody, but the fact that everybody isn't healed shouldn't surprise us, because not everybody that Jesus met did he heal. My encouragement to people that because you're not healed today, don't give up hope. I went through 35 major surgeries, and I'm healthier today at 60 than I was at 17. I just actually enjoy better health and am stronger and sounder because of what God has done.